I have brought peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire.
Your new empire?
Don't make me kill you.
Anakin, my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy!
You underestimate my power.
Anakin! I have the high ground!
I should have known the Jedi were plotting to take over.
Anakin, Chancellor Palpatine is evil!
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Well, then you are lost! I hate you! You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them! Bring balance to the Force, not leave it in darkness!
Oh, excuse me, Ricky. Ricky, I did see what you were doing.
It felt good, didn't it?
These videos are satiric reviews. You don't have to agree, but don't bitch about it.
This thing on? Hey there, I'm Social Injustice Warrior V Infuso, and if you're not tuning in, then you're missing out. So this video has come about in a very strange and surprising way, although given the name of this video, I don't think that there is a normal way that this could come about. Normal, as a matter of fact, is a term I would not use to describe anything that you're about to hear in this story. But it's a true one, and I was there, unfortunately. So the only people who are knowing about this story are you guys and my therapists, and my psychologists, and their therapists and psychologists. I have a friend, believe it or not. Let's call him Sal. Mostly to save him from embarrassment, let's say his name is Sal. It's not, but for the story, his name is Sal. So Sal tells me, man, I gotta tell you, nothing edges me more than watching something drown in quicksand. Now, much like the name Sal, that's not real. That story. I don't know how we actually found out that he was into quicksand. He shared it with us at some point in time. I don't know what the lead-in was. Not even sure there could have been a lead-in. It's just something that came up at some point in time that he felt comfortable enough, for some reason, to share with me and my friends. And we, rightfully so, I believe, have never let him live that down. We've held that over his head forever. Now, again, I don't know why he told us this information. Who knows? Maybe he was a lonely Pornhub magician asking for his first volunteer. I'm not sure. But we've never let him live it down. So much to the point that it's been like 4 years now and it still comes up in conversation. So the other night, or morning more accurately, my friends, Sal and this girl, let's call her Christina, I guess. So the other night after they've been out at the bar, they stop over my house about like 12 in the morning. Which is nice, you know, no invite, but they needed a place to vibe out when they were intoxicated. And it's cool. I mean, I'm not offended, but I should be, is my point. So of course, this gets brought up again. And this time, I start to get inquisitive, right? All of a sudden, I'm sitting here with the Sherlock Holmes hat, and I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this bullshit, you know? I'm sitting here asking the questions that need to be asked. Questions I probably should have asked years ago. I'm shining the light on him, he's sweating, his girlfriend, but not girlfriend, is sitting nearby just watching. She's not even a part of this, but she's enjoying being a voyeur. I'm playing good cop and bad cop, pacing back and forth as I ask, how does one find out they have this fetish? Did you see or get off to some traumatic shit as a kid? And he explained that when he was younger, and YouTube browsing, that he'd found a scene from a movie in which a woman drowned in quicksand. And eventually, one video led to another, and he landed into fetish territory. You know, that weird side of YouTube that isn't as prominent now as it once was, but oh yeah, it was a thing. He'd go on to explain that it even has its own category on Pornhub. And so sure enough, there it is, an entire category dedicated to people drowning in quicksand. There's just so much impracticality to that fetish. I mean, don't get me wrong, I get it. You know, I get the concept of having some fantasies that you just want to stay strictly fantasies. Hell, I know some people that when confronted with the possibility of living out one of their midnight masturbation sessions in real life, They were flat out disgusted. Analysis. Life isn't always like the movies. That part, I get. That makes sense to me. But when I asked Sal about, what he'd do in this very unlikely, unthinkable scenario, he stayed quiet for a moment. Which is never the proper response to what would you do if you saw someone in need. If you gotta sit there and think for a moment, even if you have the right answer after that, which he didn't, spoiler alert, but even if you have the right answer after that, it's just like, yeah, you had to think about that though, huh? You had to think for a second. And after a short spurt of silence, he said, I've always questioned that. Jesus fuck. I mean, I guess in hindsight, there's two ways he could have went about it. There's about a minute and a half before she goes under, and that's about a full minute and a few seconds longer than he'd need to get the job done, if you know what I mean. Or alternatively, I guess he'd figure he has two hands, but then if you're a woman drowning in quicksand, bad enough as it is, you really got to make the decision, would you rather sink into the unknown sandy abyss, or take the hand of an unknown stranger stroking his dick? And you know what? It is times like these where I'm glad that I was born a man. So I don't know what more I could say about this. This is a thing. It exists. I'm just learning about it, and I needed to... I don't want to say I wanted to share it with all of you, but I felt like I needed to inflict this madness on the world. Because, I mean, if I'm going down, I'm taking all you motherfuckers with me. I don't want to kink shame. But yeah, no, that's exactly what this video was. That's what I'm doing right now, if that's not clear. I don't know why I began the sentence like that. That was misleading. Because that's what I'm doing. I am absolutely 150% kink shaming. Now I know that there's a community for everything. Except for white people, because that shit is fucking racist. And there's going to be a really cringy, sand-swallowing community out there taking offense and feeling oppressed. But it's important to know, and I want you to listen. Are you listening? Before you type on the keyboard. All right? Listen up real close. Turn the volume up if you must. Because this is important. And I'm not sure that I've ever shared this piece of information with anyone before, but you know what? I think this is the first time. This is the time and place. I feel strong about this. I don't give a fuck. So yeah, I think that about covers it. This was an oddly true story, and one that you did not need to hear. Which is exactly why I decided to tell you. So, to Sal, you're welcome for disguising your name. So yeah, that's about it. This is just a little story, a little true story, a little bit of a weird story, but I figured I'd share it with you. And if you guys like these shitty stories, then I will continue to share them because I've got a lot of them. I know some pretty strange people. I mean, not to be narcissistic here, but what does that say about me? You know? So with that being said, I'm Social Injustice Warrior V Infuso, and if you like the words that came out of my mouth hole, then don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have a free moment of time and a free $1 to spare, then head over to my Patreon, where for just $1, you too could help keep this boat afloat.
Thank you for thanks guys for watching the Social Injustice Warrior. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, what he said. Good job, Morty.
The Social Injustice Warrior videos take a fair amount of time, effort, patience, and talent. And V has none of these things. So help this poor bald fuck out and join the crusade against stupidity by joining our Patreon.